Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about a vital component in your vehicle's engine system, the EGR valve. We'll explore what EGR valves are, their function, when and how to change them, and the consequences of neglect and maintenance. Well, let's find out. The EGR valve, or exhaust gas recirculation valve, plays a crucial role in reducing harmful emissions and improving fuel efficiency. It's a small but mighty part that deserves our attention. Now specifically, we'll be discussing how to perform an EGR valve test at home. But before we get started, let's talk about what you'll need. First and foremost, you'll need a few readily accessible tools to successfully conduct the EGR valve test. Here's a list of what you'll need. Protect your hands from dirt, grime, and any potential injuries. Safeguard your eyes from debris or harmful fumes that may be present when working with vehicle components. A basic socket set with various sizes will come in handy for removing bolts and nuts. A ratchet wrench allows for easier removal and installation of fasteners. Have a set of flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers available. They're versatile tools for accessing different parts of your vehicle. Multimeter will help you measure voltage, resistance, and continuity during the EGR valve test. Digital or smartphone-based OBD2 scanner allows you to retrieve trouble codes from your vehicle's onboard diagnostic system. Now, it's essential to address safety precautions when working on your vehicle's engine components. Always remember to prioritize your safety and follow these guidelines. Working on a hot engine can cause burns. Allow it to cool down before beginning any maintenance or testing. Before touching any electrical components, disconnect the negative terminal of your vehicle's battery to prevent any electrical mishaps. Familiarize yourself with the specific safety instructions and precautions outlined in your vehicle's manual. Each car may have unique requirements. As mentioned earlier, safety gloves and goggles are a must to protect yourself from any potential hazards. Please remember, if you're uncomfortable or uncertain about any step of the process, consult a professional mechanic. Your safety is of utmost importance. Now we're going to talk about recognizing the early signs of a dying EGR valve. This little component can have a big impact on your vehicle's performance. So let's dive right in. One of the early signs of a dying EGR valve is increased emissions. If you start noticing a sudden increase in the smoke or pollutants coming out of your vehicle's exhaust, it's a red flag. But that's not all. A dying EGR valve can also cause poor engine performance. If you experience reduced power, sluggish acceleration, or difficulty maintaining consistent speed, it could be due to a failing EGR valve. Another common symptom of a failing EGR valve is the illumination of the check engine light on your dashboard. The EGR valve plays a crucial role in emissions control, and if it malfunctions, the onboard diagnostic system will detect it and trigger the check engine light. Now, let's talk about how these symptoms may affect your vehicle's operation. When the EGR valve fails, it can disrupt the air-fuel mixture in the combustion chamber. This leads to an imbalance and affects the combustion process. Additionally, increased emissions due to a failing EGR valve can contribute to environmental pollution. So, my fellow car enthusiasts, if you notice any of these signs, it's time to address the issue and have your EGR valve checked by a trusted mechanic. By recognizing these symptoms early on, you can prevent further damage to your vehicle and ensure it continues to operate at its best. Now we will dive into the testing process for a failing EGR valve. Let's get our hands dirty and diagnose the issue together. First things first, let's start with a visual inspection. Grab a flashlight and inspect the EGR valve for any obvious issues. Look for signs of clogging carbon buildup or damaged parts. Once you've completed the visual inspection, it's time to move on to the functional test. Start the engine and observe the behavior of the EGR valve. Does it move as expected? Listen for any unusual sounds or vibrations that may indicate a malfunctioning valve. To perform the functional test, you can manually actuate the EGR valve using your hand or a suitable tool while the engine is running. Observe if the valve opens and closes smoothly. For vacuum-controlled EGR valves, we can perform a vacuum test. Connect a vacuum pump to the EGR valve and apply the vacuum. Observe if the valve holds the vacuum or if it leaks, indicating a problem with the valve or its associated components. Lastly, for electronically controlled EGR valves, we can use an onboard diagnostics or OBD scan tool to perform a scan and check for related trouble codes. Connect the scan tool to the OBD port and retrieve any stored codes related to the EGR system. These codes can provide valuable insight into the specific issue with the EGR valve. Always refer to the scan tool's instruction manual or consult a professional if you're unfamiliar with the process of retrieving trouble codes. Now, it's time to interpret the results and understand what they mean. Let's jump right in. So, my fellow enthusiasts, if your EGR valve failed any of the tests, it's a clear indication that there's an issue that needs attention. Let's break it down. If the visual inspection revealed clogging, carbon buildup, or damaged parts, it's likely that the EGR valve is not functioning properly. These issues can obstruct the valve's movement or prevent it from closing correctly. In the case of a failing EGR valve observed during the functional test, where the valve didn't move as expected, got stuck, or exhibited erratic behavior, it's evident that the valve needs attention. For vacuum-controlled EGR valves, a failed vacuum test indicates a leaking valve or associated components. When the vacuum leaks, it affects the valve's ability to open and close correctly, compromising its functionality and leading to performance issues. Now, let's talk about the potential causes of a failing EGR valve. There are several factors that can contribute to EGR valve problems. Over time, carbon deposits can accumulate inside the valve and restrict its movement. This buildup can be caused by incomplete combustion or poor quality fuel. The EGR passages, which allow exhaust gases to flow into the intake manifold, can become clogged with carbon or other debris. This obstruction limits the flow of exhaust gases and affects the EGR valve's performance. Electronic control systems rely on various sensors to monitor the EGR valve's operation. If these sensors fail or provide inaccurate readings, it can lead to EGR valve issues. Like any mechanical component, the EGR valve can experience wear and tear over time. This can result in valve sticking, failure to seal properly, or other mechanical malfunctions. By understanding the potential causes of a failing EGR valve, you can take the necessary steps to address the problem and restore your vehicle's performance. Now that we have the results, let's talk about the next steps to address the issue. Let's get started. If your EGR valve has been determined to be failing, there are a few options for resolving the issue. Here's what you can do. In some cases, a failing EGR valve can be restored to proper functioning by cleaning it. Remove the valve from the engine and clean it using an appropriate solvent or cleaner. If cleaning doesn't resolve the issue or if the valve is severely damaged, it's advisable to replace the EGR valve entirely. While it's possible to diagnose and even fix some EGR valve issues at home, here are a few scenarios where seeking professional assistance is recommended. If you're not confident in your diagnostic skills or lack experience working with engine components, it's best to consult a qualified mechanic. They have the knowledge and specialized tools to diagnose and repair EGR valve problems accurately. If the issue with your EGR valve involves more complex or major repairs beyond cleaning or a simple replacement, it's advisable to seek professional help. They can handle intricate repairs and ensure that all necessary adjustments are made correctly. When choosing a mechanic or service center, consider the following. Look for reputable mechanics or service centers with positive customer reviews. Seek recommendations from friends, family, or online automotive communities to find reliable professionals. Ensure that the mechanic or technicians are certified and have experience working on your specific vehicle make and model. Specialized knowledge can make a significant difference in the quality of service provided. Choose a mechanic or service center that provides transparent pricing estimates and clear communication throughout the repair process. It's important to understand the costs involved and have open communication channels to address any concerns or questions. And there you have it. We've reached the end of our video on testing and diagnosing a failing EGR valve. That's it for today's video. Before we sign off, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future content. We're dedicated to providing you with helpful tips and insights to keep your vehicles running smoothly. Thank you for joining us today, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep your cars in top shape.